Hello, good evening. We're just running a bit over time at the moment. I hope everybody is well. Um, we're talking tonight about what do you feel about Christmas this year. So get your questions in. We're just waiting for Susan to come. She's arrived. Oops. Hello,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I was struggling getting on, but it's okay. I'm here now. We're here.
You still looking? You're still looking so beautiful as you are.
Oh, thank you
Bye.
very much indeed.
Thank you. Yeah, right. Sorry about this.
You got a
Um,
party. You got a party going on.
no, it's my carer. She just left.
Oh, right.
I'm just trying to get rid of her. You know what it's like.
Oh,
I know these carers. They're really.
right.
Anyway, nice to see you again. Hope you've had a good week so far.
I have, thank you. Yes, absolutely.
Good, really good. I saw the pictures of what you've been taking
Oh, my
on
daily
your.
walk. My daily walk. I
Yeah.
think, yeah. I mean, that for me. I'm single. I live alone. I think doing something, making that commitment to do that every single day. I
Mm,
started taking the photographs for me. And
yeah.
then, but it was interesting that putting them on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, wherever, it's amazing how many people have perhaps not even commented, but at different points they've said, "I love seeing your pictures. It's made a huge difference." So people who can't get out,
Yeah.
have enjoyed seeing the sunrises or the ducks or the whatever it might, the flowers and things. And it's just sharing and doing it for me and putting a little remark or comment or something. And yeah, a lot of people have enjoyed it, which is gorgeous sharing it.
Good. I want to talk tonight about what do you feel about Christmas this
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
For some people, it's going to be very tough because of all the jobs, because of the coronavirus. It's caused a lot of jobs. People are not working no more. Everybody's gone onto furlough or, it's a lot of unrest in this country at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of worry now for Christmas because some families are really worried. What can we do?
I think I think we have to start with a sense of gratitude. Now, I think it sounds a bit controversial to say that, but I do think that for a lot of us, we can focus on what we don't have. We can, and the truth is, certain things in life we can't do anything about. We can't do anything if we have a health issue, or our partner doesn't love us anymore, or we lose our job, or there's a pandemic, a global pandemic, or the car breaks down, whatever it might be. Certain things in life we can do nothing about. And I think we have to start by saying, okay, this is how it is. I can panic. I can get depressed. I can feel flat. I can say, why me? It's not fair. I can go into a whole spiral, a whole loop. Or I can say, right, there's some things in life I can't do anything about. And there's other things in life that I can negotiate with a little bit. So if we've got a situation that we're presented with, and to some extent, this is happening with birthdays as well, and funerals and weddings and all this kind of thing, that if we can't do anything about something, we can focus on the misery and we can feel sorry for us. And absolutely, that there's an argument for doing that if we've lost our job or our business has folded or whatever it might be. It's pretty dire. I understand that. But at the end, and it's important to grieve and feel sorry and remorseful and perhaps angry for a while, and that's part of the process of grief and getting through situations. But we also have to at some point say, okay, what can I do about this? And I think the thing with Christmas is about saying, okay, I haven't got as much money. The kids aren't going to get fantastic gifts this year, if anything. Food might be at a premium, but what can we do about this? And there are various things. I've written an article about, are you looking forward to Christmas? And one of the things is about saying, okay, chat with the kids. say to the kids, you're going to get one present this year. You're going to get, if that.
Mm,
Kids are pretty good at understanding things. They don't, yes, they'll take the expensive tech and they'll take the fantastic branded
mm,
sports kit and all that kind of thing. But if we speak to them and say, look, it's been a tough year, they're not stupid. They're going to school or they're not going to school. They know what's going on
mm,
around them. We're in a bit of a jam this year. We can't, we're together, but we're going to have to do different things. They'll understand that.
mm,
And that's okay. They might kick off a little bit, but really they understand. And I think that is a huge thing. And I suppose the second thing is to talk to your friends or the people who you might normally gift to
mm,
and say, no presents this year. Should we agree to
mm,
just, love each other and be there for each other? And there's all sorts of things that we can have instead. I mean, I know that sometimes my friends and I, we exchange reasonably decent presents, but we don't really need them. You look at it and you've got another jar of beautiful shower gel or something or other, but it's lovely to receive it. Thank you very much. But actually, sometimes somebody's saying, right, I'm gonna take you shopping, or we're going to go for a coffee, or I'm going to treat you to lunch, or actually, do you want? I'll bake you a cake, or I'll make
mm,
a meal for you, or I'll help you with the gardening or the decorating. And if
mm,
you've got kids, right, I'll do 2 days babysitting. Sometimes giving people vouchers for something that actually will make a difference to them
mm, mm,
can be much better than receiving some expensive gift that's kind of nice, but really, do I really
mm.
want this?
See,
And
people will say, that's fine, Susan. That's fine what you're talking about. But at the end of the day, I've had a Christmas, where I'm used to buying Christmas presents for the kids. I've got a big family. I had somebody say the other day on one topic, they would say a mother had about 8 kids and things like that. And they said, well, if she didn't have 8 kids, it won't be so expensive. And you've got this commercial part where people,
but she's got 8 kids, so she can't suddenly, somebody's got 8 kids. It's all right saying you shouldn't have had 8 kids. I mean, that might be a bit of a pompous, facetious remark to make. You can't do any. What's she going to do? Sell them,
well, it
or
was in
something,
the, yeah, it was in the Daily Mirror actually. Um,
right?
so it was in the
Well, yeah,
Daily
well,
Mirror.
yeah, if she hadn't had 8 kids, it wouldn't be as expensive. Absolutely, yes, but she
Yeah,
has
yeah,
got 8 kids, so end of.
yeah,
And so at the end of the day, you sit your 8 kids down and you say, okay, we're all here. We're lovely. We're healthy, perhaps. Let's be grateful for that. Right. What can we do? You can pick a present up to the value of a fiver or a 10. I mean, I understand. I don't know how true it is, but the royal family apparently way back used to have an agreement amongst themselves that they would spend a maximum of £5 or £10 on a gift each. And the idea behind that was that it made you be a bit more imaginative. So,
mm,
you had to think about what you were actually buying. You had to really, I know my nephew was fabulous at going around the markets and finding the most gorgeous, unique, unusual things,
mm,
notebooks made out of leaves and things like that. And I mean, we
mm,
haven't got the Christmas markets in Manchester this year, but local markets, local craftspeople, all this kind of thing, jars of beautiful preserves, jars of all sorts of things, homemade things can be really very special. Getting the kids working on crafts and doing a
mm,
scrapbook or a collage or
mm,
photographs of special things, or you for your partner making a scrapbook of our time together, where you have ticket stubs and leaves from a walk you did and pressed flowers and I don't know what photographs and
mm.
programs. Sometimes doing things like that can be more meaningful because actually it was given with love and it was made with you in mind. And that's far
Yeah,
nicer than, a 50 quid bottle of something.
yeah, yeah.
Just pick,
Because it's
you send your secretary out to buy it or something, what the heck,
yeah,
very nice and thank you. And you shove it in the cupboard, but never to be seen again. So I think
yeah,
sometimes thoughtful presents may not cost as much, but they actually have a lot more value, a lot more resonance with you because they're beautiful and you receive them and you feel really special because of it.
yeah, yeah. I know. See, the trouble is, see, what I'm trying to say is like I speak to a lot of like families and stuff, and they say to me, Steve, this year's going to be really tough about the coronavirus and everything else they get, and it's like, they're really pouring their hearts out online sometimes, and I wish I could open, but I'm in the same situation. See,
Yeah, but I think it is about changing the narrative so we can focus on what we don't have or we can
yeah,
focus on what we do have.
yeah,
And
but Steve, what I'm trying to say is some people are not like that, so they don't
yeah,
think they don't think that way.
okay. And I think it again we have to I hear what you're saying, but if we want to change that, if they're speaking to you and they're saying this is a state I'm in and I'm really stuck in this misery and it's killing me, it's driving me crazy, I'm stuck in this loop, we have to at some point say, for me, if I was speaking with that person, as I'm a therapist, if I was speaking to that person who's a client, my question would be, and what needs to happen to
Mm,
change
mm,
that for you?
mm,
So
mm,
what needs to happen to change that for you? And I think in a lot of cases it's about mindset.
mm,
Nobody's going to write them a check for £1 million or suddenly give them a fantastic job or whatever. So what needs to happen? I think it was Oprah Winfrey who in one of her early broadcasts was saying, you woke up this morning, and start with, I'm breathing, I woke up, I've got a roof
mm,
over my head, I'm looking out the window and it's raining outside, but I'm protected. And and there may be some food in. It might not be
mm,
fantastic food, but you've got a few tins in, or somebody's wanting to help you out. So start focusing on what you do have, because
mm.
you've got to start somewhere, or else you just stay stuck in that situation. And
Oh
most
yeah, yeah.
situations have a negotiation. Most situations have something that we can work with. And I think the first thing is the gratitude.
Mm,
I might have friends, or I might have a partner, or I might have kids, or I might have a pet, or I might have a beautiful view outside, or I might have a roof over my head, or I might have clean clothes. And we start with that as a starting point. And I think then a step at a time. And so if we're talking about people who are stuck in low mood or depression, or they're in dire situations, it's about little successes each day that kind of lightly start to elevate the mood. And things like getting up and having a shower, and
mm,
and giving yourself credit for that. I've actually done this. I've got up today and
mm,
I've had a wash. That might be huge. I mean, you or I
mm.
might think, oh, that's nothing, for goodness sake. But for some people, I know that is massive. I've
Oh
got up
yeah, yeah.
today.
Of course, yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. I've got up today, I've had a shower, and guess what? I've put matching clothes on, or I put
yeah,
clean
yeah.
clothes on, or I've had a shave, or I put a bit of lipstick on, or
I
something.
don't, I don't usually say about this about my guest, but we were chatting last week about somebody, no, about something, about waking up, and kind of you were mentioning about waking up, having a shower, get yourself out there, and all this lot. Now, this chap who I can't mention his name, but because I'm not can't do it on here. But you were saying this, and he came back to me and he said, "Steve, she's talking sense." I said, "Well, of course she is." And he went out there. He got himself sorted out. He went out there for the first time in months, and he got out there. He kind of like sorted different places out. He got new clothes. He dressed himself up. He went and got a job. And people can, yeah, oh yeah, he got a job, and that's and and I say to people, all you got to do is just kind of like turn something from negative into a positive.
And it's the way you look at things too, because at the end of the day, if I'm feeling really flat and low and I've no hope or something, the truth is getting out and, like you say, he goes out and he gets himself a job. Even, and I'm saying the word even or just, even if he just goes out and gets himself a job stacking shelves, that
Yeah,
is fantastic, because I know that a job is about a lot more than the money you earn.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
job means you have to be somewhere at a specific time because people are expecting you. You have to have a wash because you have
yeah,
to look reasonably smart. You have to
yeah.
freshen yourself up. You have to speak to people, even if it's just your colleagues, and say hello, good morning, whatever. They might say, let's meet up for a cup of coffee at break time or something. So there's lots going on with any kind of job that
Mm.
is more than just the money that you're earning. Yes, the money's great, but often you find people start a job like that for the money. But one,
Not
two,
for
three
him. Not
weeks
for
in,
him.
yeah,
He got stuck in.
yeah,
He's got a weight problem. He was stuck in, and he didn't want to go out, and he went out, got himself sorted out, and he said, "No, I'm not doing it no more." He got himself a job, and I think he's in Morrison's actually doing cleaning for them or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
And it's really good.
Mm. And he is a valuable part of the team because like the cleaners in the operating theatres, the cleaners in the supermarkets, the cleaners everywhere, they make everybody else be able to
Mm,
do their jobs too. So
yeah, yeah,
every job is a contribution to the overall running of a business or a hospital or a whatever it might be. And all of these things make all the wheels turn.
yeah,
So it's also appreciating what you're doing, but also
mm,
appreciating what it again, this spirit of gratitude, what
mm,
this job, this trivial job or this menial job or this occupation thing just keeping me occupied, it is bringing into my life, and it can be bringing a heck of a lot. I mean, a lot of the work that I do for free. I write a lot of articles. I do, I was on BBC Scotland this morning doing an interview, uh,
yeah, yeah. I know, yeah.
all sorts of different things, and sometimes it's just about keeping yourself busy or getting yourself out there or mixing a meeting with people,
Mm,
and there's lots of layers of our lives that we can throw in the mix that help elevate our mood and make us feel positive about ourselves. So,
mm,
again, bringing it back to Christmas, this is all part of the deal. This is all part of how we feel better about ourselves and about the situation that we're in, rather than
mm,
focusing on the gloom and the misery and what we don't
mm.
have.
Yeah, oh, yeah. We just got to think about positive, wouldn't we?
For sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. I love it now. When I go out in my car or go out with my on my scooter, I just go down, the country. I just go down this pathway, the old cycle track. I love it, and I just go for a walk, the stream, and see all the animals around. And I'm thinking, what a blessing that we got all this.
For sure.
You know, there's,
Absolutely. Yeah,
there's a lot going on. Um,
yeah,
what I'm trying to say to you about Christmas is for this year then. Um, when the trouble is sometimes when we haven't got kind of like nothing and we got kind of like and we used to having family coming around.
yeah.
All right, we used to have family coming around. This year we're probably kind of like and we got to cancel it. Sometimes it really hurts people, doesn't it? When we kind of like we're thinking we got all the family around, usually at Christmas, we give them everything, and all of a sudden we can't afford anything. So they give us something, but we can't afford to give them anything. Do you get me?
Well,
So that was
yes, I do, and I think sometimes we have to um, be gracious. So, I mean, I think sometimes it might be that we say to people, "Look, I'll say," and this can happen at any time of life. This can happen whether you lose your job anyway without coronavirus, or you get divorced. You often find when people get divorced, their financial situation can take a real battering because there's nothing, there's not enough money to go around, and one person may end up with a good job and the other person hasn't worked for years, and so they end up in very straitened circumstances. So lots of times this can happen, and I think it's sometimes we have to just bite the bullet and say, my situation's very different this year. um Everybody knows. I mean, it's not like a surprise if you're saying to people, I haven't got as much money as normal because
mm,
I've not worked. I mean, everybody's going to understand that. Whatever, whether I know some people have earned a lot more this year, and some people have got fantastic jobs and they've done really well. The businesses have thrived. So not everybody is in a mess this year because of Corona. Some people have, the businesses have boomed.
mm,
But at the end of the day, saying to people, look, I'm in a bit of a jam. let's not give each other presents. Let's and they say, well, actually, I want to give you something really valuable. I want to help you out. Or so sometimes we just have to say, okay, thank you.
Mm,
And it might be that they're not giving us a fantastic present. It might be that they're saying, look, I want to do, I want to help out. I want to get something special for the kids. I want to buy them, clothes or something useful to help you out because I know you're in a jam. And sometimes we've just got to hold our hand up and say, fabulous, thank you.
mm,
You know,
mm,
and so long as the giver does it, I know sometimes I'll say to a friend of mine, look, I'll pay for lunch today. I've had a good week. And it
mm,
might be that I haven't particularly had a good week, but I know they've had a bit of a rough time. And so
mm,
sometimes just being a little bit subtle
mm,
and a little bit sensitive about giving and accepting. And it's not charity, it's just that some people are in a better place or in a better situation. And sometimes we just have to go, okay, these are extenuating circumstances. These are extraordinary times, and helping each other out is one part of that. And we can reciprocate. Somebody gives me an expensive gift, I can say, look, can't afford anything this year, but how about I do, I look after the kids for a weekend while you and your partner go away. And they might go, oh my goodness me, Susan, that is
mm,
fantastic. Thank you. Or
mm.
how about I sort your garden out when the weather's nicer, or I help you
Yeah.
decorate the bedroom, or help you whatever, bake your cake or something.
Oh,
And
yeah.
sometimes we can do other things, do your ironing for a month or whatever it might be, and almost give a voucher for that. And sometimes that can be far more valuable and far more thoughtful a gift than a very expensive
Mm.
something. So it's just about being appreciating what happens to us.
Yeah, I think we just need to be appreciated towards life, really, don't we?
And we just have to accept
Yeah.
sometimes that
Yeah.
it is what it is. That phrase, it is what it is, and it
Yeah.
very much is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really bad. Yeah. Is that a cat there? Is that your cat?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
she,
right.
she
Okay.
was settled over there, and now she's decided she wants attention. So
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
she's rather beautiful. Can you see her? She's rather,
Oh, what
yeah,
kind of
she's rather.
cat? What kind of cat is that?
I don't know. She moved in. I had a little male cat, and she fancied him, and she used to be waiting outside every single day, and then she just moved in. So every time he went out the back door, she would follow him, and then she moved in, and So anyway, she was a stray, so she's moved in, checked her and everything. So yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah. Um. Also, the last bit, I just want to talk about what at Christmas sometimes as well about people being homeless.
Okay.
It's a big issue for Christmas, really. What do you think about that?
Well, I think a lot of local authorities try to home their homeless people. So they try to provide refuges, or they try to provide beds. Certainly around where I live, there is a commitment to a bed a bed for Christmas, and they do make a big effort to try and house people, home people. So, it's more of a local authority or a social services type issue, really.
Hmm.
There's At the end of the day, it's a sad situation, but a lot of people on the streets are perhaps vets, ex-army people, or they are people who are really struggling with mental health situations, and again, some of those people they have their own communities. I mean, I
Hmm.
know, I'm good friends with a guy who's done a massive amount of work with the homeless in Manchester, a guy called Jed King, and he set up a whole foundation, and he said the problem, if you like, or the thing for homeless people is that often they don't want rehoming. That you often find that you can take
They're
somebody off.
used to it. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and they have their own communities, so they
Yeah.
look out for each other, and they're all, there's two types of homelessness. There's the people who um, have lost their job and they can't pay the rent, and they got booted out because and they want to get back in work, and they want to get back in society, if you want to call it that, and they want to start being a functioning member of the community and get themselves a job and holidays and home and nice things around them. There's those people, and then there are the other people who perhaps have been homeless for a long time because of drugs, or because of mental health issues or whatever it might be. And those people have their own set of circumstances. As I
mm,
say, they have their own
mm,
criteria, they have their own community, they have their own looking out
mm,
for each other. And you take them out of that and put them into a flat somewhere, no matter how lovely it is, no matter how kitted out with furniture and electronics and stuff it is, they really struggle to adapt to that because they've lost everything that's familiar with them and that is
yeah,
their support network. So it's about
oh, yeah.
being mindful of that, really.
When you said about social services and organisations helping out, do you think the church should open their doors?
Well,
Because
I suppose that depends on what their experience is. I mean, I don't think for me, I don't think you can make blanket statements about what people ought to do. I think it's down to the individual experience. I mean, for example, I know that some of the Manchester United this is not about the church, but I know some of the Manchester United footballers, they got an empty hotel in the city centre, and they opened it and let a lot of homeless people in there, and the place got completely trashed. Everything, the plumbing,
mm,
the boilers, the
mm.
room, the floorboards, the whole lot got trashed.
I
And
can I can I can understand that. I can understand that, but um, if it was monitored, right? If the church, they got in the church, you got deacons and you got the vicar, deacons, and everything. Yeah, but it does say about being homeless. It says about give somebody a bed. You know, God said you'll give somebody a bed. So really, this is what I believe. Right? This is what I believe. I believe that all the churches should open, right? And I believe that with what to be monitored and give them, a place where it's safe, warm, right? And that's what I believe. That's what I believe in.
okay,
That's that's what I believe in. Now, some people might come up to me and say, "Yeah, but Steve, but they'll probably steal the silverware. They'll probably wreck the joint. They do this and do that. What you just said." But at the end of the day, instead of going to the council and asking the council to rehouse, because there's not many houses available these days now, the church has got to take some responsibility, surely.
well, I think what you're talking about there is that, as I mentioned earlier, there's two different kinds of homeless people. I'm speaking very generally. But
Yeah.
if you take somebody off the street and put them in a house, say, one, they might not want to be there. Two, they might be completely out of the element. Three, what do they do? Do they just sit there all day long and watch TV? So there has to be an infrastructure where, sometime. I mean, I know this Skull Fades Foundation that I am very aware of. I've interviewed him in the past for various things, Jed King, and he's saying a lot of these people need therapy. They need work. They need to understand where a lot of their recidivism or their repetitive behavior that is unhelpful and harmful to them and to them moving forward. You can't just pick somebody up off the street and put them in a house or a flat or a dormitory. That
I know
there
that.
has
I know that.
there's
Yeah.
more infrastructure than that. So individual people can require an awful lot of attention and care and commitment. And so just saying give somebody a bed and food and all the rest of it is just a starting point. It's
Mm,
not the full story, and it's quite a big commitment, really. And yeah, absolutely. And people, don't forget, people have to want to be helped too. And sometimes people just say, I'm fine like I am. I like living the way that I live. This is where I
mm.
belong. This is what I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want
I
to
know
be,
that. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I do. I do. I do know that. I've been through homelessness myself.
right,
Um,
okay,
and I've been there. I've been on the streets. I've been to the council trying to get accommodation.
okay,
I've been there. I used to hang around with some. I'd never done it because I don't believe in it, but it were drug takers, and people like that, and it's horrible living on the streets. I can tell you that
absolutely.
it's
Taking drugs,
degrading.
self harming, all sorts of things.
It's degrading. You know what I mean? You know, I came to a situation where I was suicidal. I wanted to jump off a bridge, end my life. That's why I do this. You know, this is why I do this now.
Yeah.
But what I really, you know, because of my faith too, you know. But see, the trouble is, I say it to my church, and I say it to everybody else that, you know, the church should take some responsibility to. You know, there is with social services at the moment. The social services are just kind of like they don't know where to turn. You know, there's loads of it coming through at the moment. Being homeless because of the COVID, because people can't pay their rent, and the government are, you know, are saying, "Oh yeah, we'll sort you out, sort you out." You know, and what can they do? You know?
Well, I mean, I'm the wrong person to ask, really. This isn't a therapeutic answer for this. You know, it's, as I say, the answers I've given where
Yeah,
you work with the individual people and you help them try and feel better about themselves,
yeah,
ask them what they want and need. You know, that's a question really for somebody off the council, perhaps, that
yeah,
you get them on and ask them about it, because
yeah,
it's certainly not necessarily something that you know, I've given you the answers that I can about this, and
yeah, yeah,
it's down to the individual really, and what they want and what they're
yeah. Of
prepared
course,
to
yeah, yeah,
accept, and how much of a
yeah,
negotiation you can have with them.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, you know.
yeah. We were just talking about Christmas, and I was just bringing
Yes.
up about being, you know, being homeless. Basically, I was just saying,
Sure,
you
yeah,
know,
and as I say, depending on where they're at, if that, you know, it's cold and it's wet, and some people, I know certainly in the area that I live in, they work to have very few people. Actually, there's 9 different organisations working in Manchester to deal with the homeless people and to help them find, you know, the mayor Andy Burnham, who's been in the press a lot recently. He set up whole dormitories with beds in, and people can sleep there if they want, but not everybody wants to sleep in a bed
no,
with a roof
because
over them.
they're not used to it, are they? That's why.
For sure, and they don't want to be
No,
there. They don't want to
no.
be, you know. And sometimes, I mean, I know some of the religious organisations insist that people do prayers and all that kind of thing before they get to a meal, and not everybody wants to have that as a rule or a regulation, and I
Oh yeah,
understand that
yeah,
too. So
yeah,
it's very much, you know, and there's all sorts of pros and cons. You know,
yeah,
we
yeah.
donate a lot of clothes to some of these shelters, and then you discover that the guys who run the shelters are charging the people for the clothes that they give them out, but they were given to them to give away, and yet
Oh,
they're not doing that. So there's all
Susan,
sorts of,
don't start me on that one. Don't
well,
start me
you
on
know.
that.
So I
Oh,
mean, you know,
yeah, yeah, I know.
there's
It's
lots of
ridiculous.
different stories going on, and not everything's as idyllic as it could be or should be. So there's anomalies, there's pros and cons, and that's the way it works, really.
Okay, right, let's go for the questions because it's getting on time. Um, it says here, right, hi Susan. I've made instead of looking forward to Christmas this year, I have. So I'm reading off my email. Instead of doing, sorry, sorry. Instead of celebrating Christmas this year, I'm just I'm glad that I just got my family and friends. At the end of the day, that's what I want. It's about living a life, and I've got everything, so I have no concerns there.
And that's
Rob's,
what I was talking about, being grateful. You know, that whole
yeah,
spirit of gratitude where we're drilling right down to the basics of what actually is important, the
mm,
relationships, the friendships, even if you can't meet up with them, you know, that we maybe use the Zoom or the online methods if we have them. I mean, I know not everybody has access to Zoom or online even, but
mm,
for a lot of people, it's been a lifeline throughout the year, whether it's funerals or weddings or
mm,
birthdays. And for Christmas too, keeping in touch online has been an absolute godsend. So,
mm,
you know, there are ways of perhaps touching base or having a phone call or making sure we send cards this year. That I know a lot of people stopped doing that, but making sure we send cards with little proper
mm.
handwritten notes inside saying, really thinking about you, hoping you're doing well, rather than just best wishes,
Yeah,
malicious,
yeah,
whatever, you know, that we actually do take care about what we're doing. And homemade cards can
yeah,
be really beautiful with a picture on, perhaps, or path
yeah,
that you've taken, all these things that perhaps don't cost as much money, but where we do all these little touches that are bring it back to basics, like your like that comment was, having your family
yeah,
around you, having the people around you that are important. Don't need all the big lavish touches, but just having
mm,
each other as relationships is really special.
yeah. What is it to Rob says, I like having you on, Susan, because you talk sense. Um,
Thank you, Rob.
Glenda says, good topic, but sorry, good topic, but I wish it was more longer because I would come on and discuss what we've been doing in Glasgow.
Okay.
Yeah, you could. What we do is sort something out for that. Sometime, maybe see. Um, I belong to shelter. All right, okay. Um, Rachel says, "Hi, Susan. I love you coming on every week. Are you doing any more with Steve?" Well, we hope so. I love seeing Susan coming on. She talks sense. Yes, yeah. What else is there?
It wasn't the original plan, but it seems to have evolved that way, hasn't it? That I'm coming on each week. So it's good. I don't mind. I'm
Yeah,
happy to
she don't.
come on.
Susan don't mind. She'll just send me a bill later on.
I will.
Um, what else is it? Tina. What else is it? We covered. Sorry, I'm just trying to go through all the
Sure, sure.
emails that I'm getting because I don't want to repeat it. Oh, Susan, right. This year there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be homeless on the street, as Steve was saying. Would it be? What would you do if? Do you ever take any homeless people in and feed them? What?
Not
What?
into my house. Not into my house. I don't know, but I do. I do get involved with food banks, and I do get involved with collections, and I do get involved. A friend of mine set up meals near where she lives, and she organised various suppliers, caterers, all sorts of things, and organised meals for not just the homeless people, but for the lonely people,
Mm,
people on their own, the elderly people, the people who couldn't get out. She organised a Christmas Day lunch for them, and I got involved in helping with that. So, no, I don't have anybody in my home, but I am very active and help with lots of other ways. So I do
yeah,
other
she
things,
does. She
not
does
just
do a lot.
writing. Yeah, it's not just writing a check, it's about being proactive. So,
Yeah,
being involved in collecting for food banks, being involved in helping out with the meal, being involved in finding a little goodie bag perhaps for each person at the Christmas Day lunch, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm happy to get involved in those sorts of things, and indeed have done.
yeah.
So yeah.
Liz, Steve, when's the next time you'll be sleeping out in the street? Not for a while now, not till next year sometime. I think that'd be in Brighton, I think. I will let you know. Um, what else is it? Oh, Susan, if I don't talk to you now, Merry Christmas.
Thank you. It's 2 months off, honey.
Uh, Merry Christmas. Oh, can't see it now. Oh, yeah, I can. Merry Christmas. By the way, for Christmas this year, I'm going to make decorations out of toilet roll because I've got a lot of toilet roll left. So I've got to make some toilet roll and get through my ceiling. Not the toilet. So I'm going to make things what we got, and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what we got like money, as long as we got one another. That's all that counts.
And that's going back, that's drilling back down to what we used to do at school, isn't it? I remember at school making,
Decorations, isn't
cake
it?
and decorations from all sorts of different things,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we used them for a long time, and they were great. And actually, it was what Christmas was all about. Knitting a sock or something to put over the end of the bed or over the fireplace or whatever it is, making the cards, getting covered in glitter and glue, and cutting out things and all the rest of it. And that's very special. And now we're going into shops and buying all these wonderful things, but actually making the things yourself, decorating things yourself, sorting it all out yourself is really, we've lost track and the meaning behind so much of it. And this year, I think very specially, is going to be more about what Christmas is. Do you know it in America, more people go home for Thanksgiving than actually do for Christmas. And yet Thanksgiving there it's just about enjoying a meal together. It's not about exchanging expensive gifts and things. It's about
Mm.
actually reconnecting as a family and sitting around the table and enjoying a meal. And that's, I think, what we're going to be more about this year here in the UK.
Before we go, I've got to tell you this. Susan, what I've been doing for the last 6 months through COVID, I have been knitting for my grandchildren. I am 65, and I've been knitting jumpers and scarves.
Yeah.
That's what they will be getting for Christmas off me.
Yeah.
And Paul says, very good conversation tonight. Thank you very much. Why haven't you got no comments tonight on your... oh, I had to block it. Sorry. And that's it. Sorry, I had some, when I was talking about homelessness now, I had somebody come up and kind of like said a couple of things about homeless people. So
Oh, right. Okay. I don't know what it was. So, yeah. Okay.
I took it off. So there you go.
Okay. Fair enough.
There you go. Thank you very much, Susan.
My pleasure.
It's always so quick, isn't it?
Yeah. 40 minutes. Yes, absolutely. It just flies by, but yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for all your time and everything. And
my pleasure.
And hopefully
people are welcome to follow me. I've got loads of articles on my website, lifestyletherapy.net. And if you want to friend me or whatever on Twitter or Facebook, please be happy to do so. I'll be more than happy to have.
If you send me all the links,
yeah.
If you send me every link, I'll stick it on my website, me and Michelle's website.
Yeah, because people can then see all the articles that I write for free and get tips and hints for all sorts of different things, and they're there to access. So by all means, I'm happy about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Susan, once again. Thank you.
My pleasure.
See you, brother.
See you.
There you go. She's very good and very knowledgeable of her job. Very good. She gives you good hints and tips and everything. Make sure you do follow her because she's really good. Anyway, I've got to go. Take care, guys. Thank you for all your messages. I'm sorry about the messenger system tonight. I had to stop it. So there you go. Anyway, take care and see you on the next adventure. Don't forget next week, same again. And take care. Bye bye.